Okay, so good evening, everybody. I kind of thought about how the best way to do a blow dry video live would be, and it's pretty terrible options. So what I went ahead and did is I let my hair air dry probably for the last hour, and then I just went in through the underneath part that was still pretty wet and kind of rough dried it a little bit so that I didn't have to stand on here for 3 days because I have all the hair and all the blend. I went ahead and prepped my hair with our color locking system. I took pictures of how much I use, so I will give detailed notes in the comments. This is a product, or this is two products when paired together, create our color locking system, and they close the cuticle down after a color service. So we use it after every color that we do in the salon. I have found it's a great detangler. It's a great just prep for wherever you're headed with your style. I've even had the conversation with clients and they're like, Anna, I have this, I have this, I have this, and I still feel like something is missing. And Color Lock has filled in those gaps for them. So I did go ahead and do that already when my hair was super, super wet. Now that it's, I don't know, 50%-ish dry, maybe more, I'm going to use a little bit of Euphoria's straightening balm. And I have a lot of hair, so please take that into consideration. That is how, it's going to run. I used probably a little bit more than an edamame amount. I like to reference food when doing hair. I don't know what that says about me. I like to start in the mids and ends and work my way up to my crown and root area. And by that point, it's just the remnants. And I'm going to kind of give my hands a quick rinse. And then I am going to go in at my crown with Kevin Murphy Anti-Gravity. It's an oil-free volumizer. And I like this just to create a little bit of air and a little bit of height in the top. I used about the same amount, which this is really too much. So that's too much. Emulsify really, really good. And then I'm flipping upside down. So I'm really just in my crown area with this. I am not going to really worry about my ends because when you have this much hair, your ends are going to be flat anyway. But I do get a lot of movement in here, and that's what I'm looking for. So after that, I like to blow dry in 3 sections. That's what works for me. Some people might need 4, some people might need 2. That's just the number that works for me. So I like to take out the crown. I like nice clean sections. Organization really in my life is not something I'm strong with, but when I'm blow drying hair, I like it. I like these little alligator clips. We will have some at the salon for you guys when we get back because I feel like you guys might like these. And then I'm going to go just like top of the ear to top of the ear and meet in the back. If you take your index fingers and kind of trace along your scalp, you'll create decently, I love there's some guys watching. You'll create decently organized sections. And then I'm going to pin this up. And then from there, I'm going to blow dry. So I'm going to talk you through this. I'm going to blow dry a little bit. I'm going to go away because no one wants to watch me blow dry for the whole time. And then I'm going to come back and I'm going to finish out the top section. I'm not going to leave you hanging. I'm going to walk you through every step. At this point, if my hair hadn't already been air drying, I would go ahead and take some of the dampness out of it before I went into it with a round brush. But in all actuality, at this point, I need to get the round brush in there or some of these waves that are natural are going to stay. I use an Elchum at home. I use a U-Smooth at the salon. This was just my old salon dryer. I brought it home thinking it was on its last leg and it's still kicking. My round brush is, this is a sweet story. Luca picked this out for me at a supply store. And he said, Mama, I want to buy this for you. And so this is just the round brush I use. It's a 2-inch Chi. To be honest, I don't love it. I actually really like the Euphoria brushes. And they are actually going to be launching in Q2 a redesigned handle, which is supposed to be even more comfortable for your grip. We do retail those at the salon. So I'm gonna start with the bottom section. I'm gonna blow dry a little bit, I'll stop, and then I'll come back in a little bit, but I'll talk you through everything. So I like to lift up to create a little bit of height. I move my blow dryer so that all of the hair on the brush gets hit with it, and I move really slow. It might be because I'm lazy, but at the end of the day, like when you've done 47 blow dries, the last thing you want to do is more on yourself. So I like to create a little bend in my ends. And then that's pretty good on that section. So I'll set my blow dryer down and I'll pick up the next section that I'm going to blow dry. A lot of times I pick up hair from the previous section to make sure that it's really dry. The worst thing that you can do in a blow dry is not get the hair completely dry. Then you've done all of this work and it's going to collapse if it's still damp. So if you don't like your ends to have any sort of bend in them, you would absolutely not want to do this much on the ends, but I like a little bit of bend in mine just because I don't put my ends in the curling iron. I hope you guys can hear me. Okay, I'm gonna come in on the other side. This is kind of falling apart a little. Brittany, we're gonna have these clips at the salon when we open back up. We get them from one of our professional distributors. So I'm still pulling up. And you'll notice I'm a little bit more spastic on this side because my arm's in front of the camera, I'm sorry. I'm gonna come back in and get that a little bit. Okay? Then I'm in the middle of the back, and it looks like I have all of the hair. I really won't have all of it, but I just threw it all over the brush. And I'm just repeating this all the way down. And that is really it. So now this section is dry. And you can see there's a little bend in my ends, but it ends up being straight at the end of the day. So I'm gonna take a break. I'm gonna blow dry this middle section, and then when I'm about halfway through the crown, I'm gonna come back. So I'll be back. See you soon.